What's going on, everyone? It's your boy JR back again with my boys Ian and Justin. Say what's up, guys.
Going
So,
on.
And we are here to review episode 9 of Game of Thrones, season 5. Right off the bat, who wants to start us off here? Impressions, Ian.
Um, it was an okay episode. I think as far as episode 9 for all 5 seasons now, this was probably one of the weaker ones that they've had. Um, Other than that, it was simple, fun TV than what we expect from Game of Thrones. I wasn't overly enthused about it, to be honest.
Were there any parts in the episode that you liked or anything like that? Or can we
Absolutely. I
take some
mean,
positives out of that?
I think that every person that watched it loved the end. I think that's what everybody was waiting for. Waiting to see what was going to happen, especially when they started doing what they were doing in the episode. I mean, if you don't know what's coming, seeing Drogon come down and start fucking burning people, it's pretty fucking cool.
I kind of
It's
expected that personally. I was waiting for it. Is that happening in the books?
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
I
See,
think
I
we've
didn't know
talked
that
about
though,
it
but
before.
I totally fucking called it. I don't know.
You can't call it when it's been written. And I'm pretty sure we've talked about it before.
You may have. I don't know, but I called it regardless. Justin, what did you think of it, bro?
It was definitely the weakest episode 9, but it was I kind of expected a drop off after Hard Home last week.
Do you think the Hard Home episode should have been episode 9?
No, I like the way they did it. It was a surprise factor. I think everyone expected episode 9 to be the big episode because it's always been the big episode. So for them to kind of really hit you hard for 25 minutes in episode 8, I think that made it even better than if it had been episode 9.
Well, I think I may be on the minority here, but I actually really enjoyed the episode personally, mostly because they, in a way, they kind of progressing the stories a little more. Leading up to episode 10.
We didn't say we didn't like it. It was a good episode.
I know Ian didn't really dislike it. What did he? And I quote: "Does 5 minutes make you enjoy an hour of what was it?"
I said, does 5 minutes of an episode justify the hour you spent watching it?
To me, it did. I don't know about you, Justin, but no.
That's kind of how I looked at it. I mean, like I said, it wasn't a terrible episode, but I don't know, when the 4 seasons previous set the bar so high to, I don't know, I just feel like this season
it's
has
hard
been
to follow
grasping.
the red wedding and all that stuff. I agree.
The first half an hour was weak, and the last half an hour was good. And overall the episode was good, but the Stannis part and the Daenerys parts were the best, and that was still some weak CGI at the end there.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's fine. I mean, CGI. I mean, it's so hard to expect believable CGI in a TV show when you can barely get it in movies these days. So I mean, I can't really fault them too much for that per se. I can fault them for how drastically they changed Stannis's storyline. I'm not a fan of what they've done with that character and how they killed off his daughter. She's still alive in the books, so I mean, I don't know what
right?
Yeah, I don't know what direction they're going with that. I mean, so this is coming from somebody who's a book reader, trying to figure out their direction. Maybe the onus of my not enjoying it is on me then, because there's obviously a degree of separation that you have to make, but I don't know. Not to mention the fact that I don't have a problem. I mean, this sounds terrible. I don't have a problem with them burning a little girl.
I don't either. And let's talk about that scene, actually, because I haven't seen outrage for this scene, which I, in my opinion, thought was worse than the fucking quote-unquote rape scene in episode 6, as there was outrage for this. I mean, that was kind of uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah.
Even though I had no problem with it, it was pretty hard to watch. I mean,
personally,
it's very hard to watch.
Yeah, and even though it wasn't on camera, it was someone pleading for their lives. It, in a way, I don't normally watch these things, but you read about it. It's like those ISIS execution videos where they're setting people on fire or whatever, throwing them off buildings and shit like that. It was pretty intense, to be honest with you, and the fact that it was a little girl, his own daughter, his flesh and blood, was it made it, father of the year over there, fucking
Yeah.
Stannis the Manus, and sending off Davos, back to the wall because
So that it could happen, yeah.
yeah, so that it could happen. I mean, a calculated move on his part.
Yeah. It was definitely the only time I think I felt a little uncomfortable watching a Game of Thrones scene. And nothing wrong with it. I don't think any of us are upset with the scene or anything, but it was the one time you're like, oh, this might be a line crosser,
And then another point that I again and now looking at the show, they show the mother as somebody who doesn't care about her daughter at all.
Yep.
And maybe I guess the guilt drove her of that, of not being a good mother, sent her
And
through,
midnight hour, she's
right. But I mean, it didn't feel right from her character. Again, I don't know. I'm not a mother. I don't know, but I mean,
You're not?
but
no, I mean,
then-
especially because she's talking to Stannis right beforehand, saying it has to be done, and
Yeah.
Not-
It was too little, too
not
late.
a minute and a half later, she's changing her mind, and
Yeah,
seemingly out of nowhere, because you've never seen this woman show any kind of real care for her daughter.
And that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, so like a lot of these little things, I mean, granted, like I said, they changed so much from the books, but I feel like some of the decisions that they made either A, don't make sense to the characters, like they don't feel like that they're to even the characters that they wrote, and I don't know,
I think we have to see where it goes from here, though, to decide whether this move made sense or not.
but this
Well, if
whole episode to me was a mess.
Well, if he's doing it for
If we're
that
gonna
Lord
be
of
real.
Light bull crap, I mean, it's supposedly going to pay dividends. Who knows? As far as the character Stannis,
He's losing it, man.
I mean, well, yeah, he's losing it, but like in terms of if you were a fan, did he lose points with you because of that or anything like that, or did you just feel
Absolutely.
like it was a calculated move because he wants to do what it takes to conquer the realm? I look at it as a calculated move. I mean, he did what he had to do. I thought. I mean, it reminded me a little bit of Shane in The Walking Dead. I mean, he did what he had to do.
Yeah, but
to
he
survive.
didn't do it. He didn't do it for Shane. Didn't do it for religious reasons.
No, well, hold on. We're not talking about religious
Bullshit.
reasons. I'm
Lord
talking
of
about
Light is religious, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
killed
yeah.
his
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
daughter for the god.
still doing what he had to do, though. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's where
the
he
main
loses.
point I'm trying to get across.
I think that's where Stannis loses points. Stannis is one of my favorite characters. Stannis really can't do anything wrong because he's one of my favorite characters in the books and the show, but he loses the points in the fact that he's doing it for a god that he hadn't even really known
Believed in,
about
yeah.
until, 3 years ago?
Yeah, he started fucking
3
redhead.
years ago. Right. So it's trying to figure out where his mind is at with it all, and that's kind of where he loses points. Is it a calculated move on his part? Yes, he's supposed to be a genius when it comes to warfare and that, but he's not really. He's toiling in shit that I don't think he needs to toil with, and that's where he's losing points. Just be Stannis. Just be the man.
Stannis the Manus. Anything else to add to that scene, guys?
No, not really.
All right, let's move on here. That scene with Arya, we want to cover that? I mean, that was pretty basic. Nothing really going on there. I thought maybe what's his name?
A little uncomfortable with Meryn Trent or whatever.
Yeah, the
however,
fucking pedophile there. Well,
yeah,
Internet
that was a
doesn't
little-
have a problem with that.
lot of little girls in this episode.
Yeah. I don't feel like it really progressed anything for her, to be honest. I guess I
No,
don't.
She'll be next week.
It's one of his list, one of the people on her list. So
Yeah.
there's a way to kill 5 minutes.
Well, I thought
I did enjoy Mace Tyrell walking around singing though.
Yeah.
I think that they had her say that line far too often in both episodes so far. I have not been
Which one?
more annoyed. Oysters!
Oh
Whatever
yeah,
the fucking
yeah.
cockles!
Oysters, cocos,
Yeah,
cuckolds.
I wanted to
Or whatever.
fucking punch her in the head. Shut the fuck up. That's obnoxious.
Yeah, it has been a little much.
Hey, a girl's got to sell oysters, so
A girl
Well,
must make a living.
yeah.
I get a couple of times, but when you're reaching the 6, 7, 8 times in an episode or combined is yeah, that's how I look at it. It's just annoying.
All right.
That's
Let's.
just a nitpick of mine.
Well, you're a nitpicker, so it's okay. We're
But
used
I
to it.
don't disagree. I am kind of over her saying that.
Yeah. Well, she's played a character, so I'll give her a pass on that. Moving on to Dorne. The happenings in Dorne. What do you guys think? I thought it was as well. To be honest with you,
I
didn't
progressed that
really.
story nicely, but it's not. It's
Filler.
again when you have the Stannis scene and it wasn't one of the main scenes, but it progressed that story. So there's nothing wrong with that scene. I like that the guy punches Bronn in the face at the end or whatever to get him out of there. It was a good scene.
Sand Snakes again, not doing much. What build up and what letdown? To be honest with you, you think they'll do anything in episode 10? I don't know. Doesn't look like it.
I
A
have
little bit of a
no
letdown.
idea.
Well, there's
Yeah,
nothing to go off of because this is all show
not book
only.
stuff.
So
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on then to the final scene because that was a pretty cool scene actually. Huge fucking brawl at the what was it called? The Great Games or something like that. Is that correct? No.
for the show, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it called the Great Games? I think that's what it was.
I believe so.
Correct us if we're wrong. Let's call it the Great Games. Bunch of people
They're,
fighting.
they're in the fighting pits.
Yeah, the fighting pits or whatever. So Jorah comes out, gets his ass kicked for a little bit. Boom, makes the comeback, kills the Marine champion, and then takes the lance that he had to the spear, and looks like he's about to throw it at Daenerys, but lo and behold, he saw Son of the Harpy, and fucking, was that a headshot or a chest shot? It was one of those, and all of a sudden, everybody's a Son of the fucking Harpy in the fucking stadium. What the hell was that all about? A huge fucking melee ensued, a bunch of people fucking died. It reminded me a little bit. Was it the Phantom Menace or was it the Attack of the Clones? I forget.
It was Attack of the Clones where
Was
they're
it
all
Attack
in
of the
the
when they're all in the fucking pit there and all the fucking
You're right,
people
that's
are coming
funny.
at them? That's what it reminded me of a little bit. I thought overall it was a pretty cool scene as far as the action and stuff goes. You need a little bit more of that. And then when fucking Drogon came out and just fucking started burning everybody, I thought that was pretty fucking neat. But
My one thing was it's like time stood still when they're throwing spears at the dragon, and Daenerys is walking slowly to him. It's like, how many Sons of the Harpy are in there? There's your
they
chance
could
to
have
kill
totally
her.
went.
It was
Yeah,
just, it was unbelievable. It was not believable in that sense, and I get it. We're in fantasy, we're immersed in the world, but I mean, come on, like, I'm sitting there going, "There's your shot, there's your chance, there's your chance, there's your
yeah.
chance to kill her."
What bothered me was, I mean, all these people in the stadium, like at least half the fucking stadium was Sons of the fucking Harpy. Like, what? All of a sudden everyone has a fucking mask. No one noticed these motherfuckers with masks. I don't know. It was weird. But I still enjoyed it overall because I did feel like it needed it. And apparently a lot of people have been anticipating this scene. And,
A lot of people thought this is how it was going to end. I mean, now I think if you've read the books, you kind of do know how the season is going to end. We're going to have a lot to talk about
well, now
next
this
week.
will
This was
probably
kind of the segue from 8 into 10, basically,
well, maybe
which will
this will
be
give
interesting because
credence.
this is the way they do this, the way they've done this season is kind of backwards. 8 was the build up to 9, and then 10 was the build up. It was you were going up at 8, you peaked at 9, you're coming back down at 10. We kind of peaked at 8, and came back down a little with 9, but it seems like we're going to go back up again here with 10 with what's coming, if you know what's coming,
Yeah,
and if they do it.
yeah, it's all if they do it. I mean, who knows what? I mean, hopefully they do. I would like to see them.
It would be a good cliffhanger until next year, I think.
I think it's the cliffhanger that'll need to happen in order to get
Agreed.
people.
To keep
Are
people
we
watching.
talking about
Right.
Lady Stoneheart or?
No,
No,
I'm
we were
talking about
talking
Jon
about
Snow.
Yeah, the death of Jon
Oh,
Snow.
the Jon Snow, yeah, that and we have a correction too from one of the listeners. We've been talking about Daenerys' brother. It's apparently her nephew. Do you think that might be implemented at the end of the season here, or what do you guys
I don't think that's coming in. I think if it was going to
Okay.
I think Daenerys is done for the season. I don't think she
Alright.
makes an appearance in the because this is as far as we've gotten with her in the books as well.
Okay. All right. Well, overall grades for the episode for an episode 9. You guys think it's the weakest? of all so far.
Of episode 9's, yeah. But I mean, it was still like
It was
solid
definitely
C
one of the
plus.
best. You know, it was the second best episode of the season. So I mean,
in a rather lackluster season. Yeah.
Nice. So hopefully episode 10 doesn't let us down. I don't know. We'll see.
You could see Daenerys' nephew though, when you think, because I mean, if you watch the previews to next week's episode, Tyrion and Jorah are sitting in the Marine throne room. So
That's
I
true.
don't know. Maybe Varys makes an appearance with her nephew. You never know.
You never know. Anything else to add, fellas, or else we're gonna wrap this up here.
no, I'm good.
You got it.
Just I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
That's
what I
yeah.
give.
Solid
okay.
C.
Yeah,
C plus. That's
I'm-
that's 7.5. I'll give it.
Well, you guys are the book nerds, so you're not as impressed. But me, as a outsider looking in, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. The last few scenes there really made it worthwhile for me, and I really enjoyed the hell out of it. So I even went back and rewatched that last scene. That's how much I enjoyed it.
I
don't know. Anyways, so that's been our episode 9 review. What was the episode name? I'll have to look that up. Do anybody remember?
It was the
This was
Dance
with
with
Dragons.
Dance with Dragons. Okay, this has been the Geek Gods review of Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 9, Dance with Dragons. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and spread the word if you enjoy the videos. We'll check you on the next episode next week. GG, motherfuckers.